There's no way to sugarcoat this. Last night was an unmitigated disaster for Donald Trump and his campaign, and that's why they had to cut this event short. There is now a viral clip quickly making its way around the internet that shows Donald Trump at a town hall in Oaks, Pennsylvania with Kristi Noem, where he just freezes on stage for upwards of 2 minutes before walking off inexplicably and not answering any more questions. But the entire town hall was disturbing and a disaster even before he froze on stage, so I want to cover a few moments that were indicative of Trump's cognitive decline before he even had his Mitch McConnell moment. Sorry if that's insensitive, but with 21 days to go until the election, we have no time to waste. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you drop some blue hearts, and double check, triple check to make sure you're subscribed. So, before I play these clips that show Donald Trump's cognitive decline and show VP Harris ripping into him for his cognitive decline, I want to show you something that happened last night. Yesterday, in Florida, there was a boat parade hosted by Laura Trump, the RNC co-chair, and this is what the boat parade looked like.
Wow, look at those beautiful swastikas. There we go, white power. Hail Trump. Yeah, make America white again. Woo, woo, woo.
They said, "Hail Trump." They said, "Make America white again."
We're out here in Jupiter, loving it, loving the good weather, blue skies. Woo! Make America white.
I hear the N-word dropping. They're talking about Jewish people as well. Mike Lindell's sign that says 1488. I mean, these people are just Nazis. And people are going to say, Adam, this is just 4 or 5 Trump supporters out of a massive rally of MAGA. And while that's a decent point, what you're missing is that Donald Trump emboldens people like this. He emboldens rhetoric like this. And I will lay out exactly why he's done stuff like this in the past. So, there was one time when Donald Trump, a few months back, posted an ad and it featured a frat group in which a male is making monkey gestures and noises towards a black woman. This article from MeidasTouch says Trump continues to fan the flames of racism. I made a video about this a while back, but do you guys remember at the University of Mississippi, this kid was making monkey gestures. In this video right here, there is someone making a monkey gesture. On Truth Social Friday, Trump posted a new ad mixing footage of campus protests for Palestine with clips from right-wing news. Trump's ad praised counter-protesters who held up the American flag while also holding the Israeli flag, and one counter-protester featured in Trump's ad said he was a white supremacist. Now, this next one, Trump posts images of Joe Biden kidnapped and bound with rope. Trump signals approval of violent imagery targeting his political opponents. Do you guys remember when he posted this video? There was a pickup truck, and in the back of it, it said Long Island, New York, and there was Biden hog-tied and bound in the back of a pickup truck. Obviously not the real Biden. Obviously it's a decal of Biden like this. Some MAGA Republicans have been displaying this graphic depicting President Biden bound with a rope and laying in the bed of a pickup truck. It gets worse. Do you guys remember a few years back when Trump retweeted a video of his supporters saying white power? I don't know why it says apparent supporter. Trump posted a video of a man in the Villages of Florida. Do you guys remember this? The retirement community where all of the golf carts were going around, and one of his supporters chants white power, and Trump boosted that. He posted it. I can't find the post years later because it has been disabled and copyright and stuff, but all of this stuff has happened, and to bring it back to today, Donald Trump actually did post a video of this boat parade. Now, not of these guys, but of this very boat parade. And time again, he posts his most vile supporters making monkey gestures with Joe Biden hogtied in the back, or one of them saying white power. He emboldens these people who do the disgusting stuff. So, if somebody were to say to me, Adam, that's just 5 Trump supporters out of 400 Trump supporters, I would say Donald Trump is emboldening, and he is dog whistling, not even dog whistling, he is speaking to those 5 Trump supporters, so why would I not be concerned? Now, this brings me on to today. Donald Trump has been facing accusations of cognitive decline for a while now, and because he won't release his medical records, we can only go off videos that we see of him, and these videos are not leaving the best impression. I have a few videos to play for you guys, but I want to show you first the subsequent meltdown that happened last night after Donald Trump froze on stage. We're going to play that video and more in just a minute. minute, stick around, but Donald Trump immediately took to Truth Social to absolutely melt down. I mean, he was posting until 2 a.m., and he just posted again 44 minutes ago. He is going on an absolute tear on Truth Social, and let's break a few down. So, first, he endorses Ted Cruz in writing because Ted Cruz is really struggling in his Texas race right now. I mean, it's a 1 or 2 point race, and it should not be. Ted Cruz in Texas usually wins by a comfy margin. That's not happening this time around, thankfully. So he said, during my first term, Ted worked with me to deliver historic tax cuts, relief for burdensome regulations. It is just an endorsement. Then he posts another one. While I've endorsed Ted on numerous occasions verbally, I thought this endorsement should be memorialized in writing. You know they are getting desperate when Donald Trump is just endorsing people left and right. Right here is where it gets funny. At about 1 a.m. in Trump's time, he said, I put out more medical exams than any other president in history and aced 2 cognitive exams. The doctor stated that my cognitive exams were exceptional. I am far healthier than Clinton, Bush, Obama, Biden, but especially Kamala. He is really going to sit here and make the claim that his dumbass is healthier than a 59, 60-year-old Kamala. No, I don't believe it. Also, I am far too busy campaigning to take time from the 22 days left, as I am using every hour of every day campaigning because we have to take back our country from the radical left. So he has time to go to the gastroenterologist, which there's nothing wrong with that. You should absolutely always go. But he has no time to take a cognitive exam that the fate of our country could rely on. I mean, if you're going to be the most powerful man in the world, you're going to be leading America, the leader of the free world, and you're going to have your finger over the nuclear button, you better be able to take a damn cognitive exam. It is sad. And then he said, as her completely desperate request for my medical statements, she is dying to see my cholesterol, which is 180. I have already provided them many times, including quite recently, and they were flawless. However, I have just seen Kamala's report, and it is not good. According to her doctor's report, she suffers from urticaria, defined as a rash of round red welts on skin that itch intensely, sometimes with dangerous swelling. No way, she has a rash? I mean, I don't even know if this is true, but she has a rash? That is the end of the world. That is campaign ending compared to Donald Trump's constant cognitive slip-ups, his years of mixing up names, his inability to keep a coherent thought or say one coherent sentence. This is so insanely desperate. He then says, these are deeply serious conditions that clearly impact her functioning. Maybe that is why she can't even answer the simplest of questions asked by 60 Minutes and others. I honestly feel like I'm being trolled. I feel like this is parody because as I'm about to lay out, Donald Trump can't answer a single question. Donald Trump is losing his mind, but he would rather sit here and placate on Truth Social. He then said, Lion Kamala, after having turned down the Fox News debate on September 4th, which I accepted, is now saying she wants to debate despite the fact that the votes are already being cast. That is a lie. Bret Baier said verbatim that Donald Trump was the one who was not down for another debate, that VP Harris was the one who wanted one, and she was down for anything. The reason she wants to do it now is simple. She is losing in the polls and is desperate. She is not losing. I mean, she's not quite winning, but if we go over to 538, it's a coin flip. Nobody's quite losing or winning, but I'd much rather be in Kamala's position because look at these numbers over on the right. Harris +1, Harris +3, Harris +3, Harris +2. I mean, Trump does eke out an edge in a few polls, but overall, you'd much rather be VP Harris. Now, the crazy part is, this brings us full circle back to Donald Trump posting a video of the boats in Jupiter, Florida. You know, the boats that we just showed that had Nazi swastikas on the boats. On just that one boat, to be fair, but Donald Trump posted a video of it, which kind of proves my broader point that he repeatedly posts videos of people saying white power, of Joe Biden hogtied in a truck, of this dude making the monkey signals. I mean, Donald Trump emboldens this stuff. He definitely does not do anything to quell it. And you know, it's extra absurd because you know how Trump posted on Truth Social that Kamala Harris demanding these cognitive records is only some desperate stunt because of the polls? Well, Trump used that exact same stunt. Literally yesterday, he said, I believe it is very important that Kamala Harris pass a test on cognitive stamina and agility. Her actions have led many to believe that there could be something wrong with her. Even 60 Minutes and CBS, in order to protect Lion Kamala, illegally and unscrupulously replace an answer she had given. I mean, interviews are spliced all the time. There's not even any time in digging into that. But Donald Trump is doing the exact same stunt he is accusing VP Harris of doing. You know, I'm going to send this post to my family and my Trump supporter friends because I think it is absolutely hilarious how desperate he is. It makes me think that there must be some internal polling showing showing that he is down, because this is some next level flailing, no? There has to be some bad internal polling. So this is where it gets hilarious. Kamala Harris's official Twitter account, not the rapid response team named Kamala HQ. They posted this video, Kamala HQ, but Kamala Harris's real account, as you can see on the top, with tens of millions of followers, posted this video of Donald Trump freezing and said, "Hope he's okay," in a trolling way. Hope he's okay. Let's watch this video.
Well, sir, do you want to play your song and then greet a few people, or do you want to? Well, you had said you wanted to close with a specific song.
I've got to mute this for 1 second due to copyright issues. I don't want my channel to be taken down. I'm sure you don't either. But as you can see, Donald Trump is standing there, swaying around as this weird music plays in the background, and then he walks off stage early after promising to take more questions. That is the weird part. Look at right there. Is he not swaying? Like, that's some wild swaying. Down here, you see this has 3.7 million views. So while this video is playing out, I'm going to explain that not only is this terrible for the Trump campaign, but it is perfectly beneficial for the Harris campaign due to the simple fact that they have been really drawing up this narrative. You don't even have to draw it up, but they have been really boosting this narrative that Donald Trump is cognitively declining, that he refuses to release his medical records, that he refuses to debate or do 60 Minutes. And this is the perfect video to put in an ad. Not to mention, it's already gotten 3.7 million video views here. It's already gotten another 6.5 million views here. You guys just saw that update in real time at the bottom. But yeah, this video is not too good for Donald Trump. And I think the worst part is, at the end, he doesn't take any more questions. He kind of just waddles off stage and relies on the guardrail as he's going down like an old man. Here's Ian Sams talking about Trump's cognitive decline, and then we'll go over some videos and some scary moments from before.
We enjoy coming on your air, and the vice president's looking forward to her interview with Brett tomorrow night. It's actually kind of a stark reminder that we're not really seeing Donald Trump do very many interviews. It's been about a month now since he did a mainstream media interview, and we got to wonder why. You know, we called this weekend for him to release his medical records. The vice president released her medical report from her doctor, Donald Trump's team. I heard him on your air last hour insisting that everything is okay and that there's nothing to see here. And your anchor rightly asked, well, if that's true, why not just put him out? And so I think that you're going to get to hear from the vice president tomorrow night about her vision for the country and what she's looking forward to presenting to Fox News viewers, including, for example, her proposal to make sure that seniors in-home care is covered under Medicare, a very important proposal to help people bring down the costs for seniors as well as their kids who might be taking care of an aging parent. And so these are the kind of ideas that she's talking about, and looking forward to talking and answering, you know, tough questions on.
Notice how she has actual plans, and Kamala Harris can answer tough questions on them compared to Donald Trump's concept. And in the vein of boosting up our pro-democracy candidate, beyond her plan for people in the sandwich generation, I love her plan to build 3 million new homes, increasing the supply, therefore decreases the cost. And also, she creates an incentive for first-time homebuyers, people like me who just have an apartment, so that someday I can buy a house and get a $25,000 credit. Now, let's break down some of these clips of Donald Trump. There's some scary stuff that happens here. First, make sure you get your Rosie the Riveter Kamala mug in the description below. We sell them. If you use code Mockler, you get 15% off. Right here, I think, is the moment that a lot of people are missing that is almost worse than Donald Trump freezing on stage. Obviously, him freezing on stage like Mitch McConnell is symbolic and it's very in your face, but this clip, Donald Trump mutters something that really almost worries me if he wasn't such a terrible person. So, here's how the dialogue goes. Trump appears confused. Kristi Noem says, "Sir, do you want to play your song and greet a few people?" Trump says, "What song?" Noem says, "Well, you said you wanted to close with a specific song." Trump closes with songs all the time, and the scary thing is, this implies that Trump and Kristi Noem had a conversation backstage, behind the scenes, probably hours before, where Trump said he wanted to play a specific song, as Kristi Noem says right here, but then Donald Trump says hours later, "What song? What song are you talking about?" Let's play this interaction.
Anyway, go ahead, please.
Yep. Well, sir, do you want to play your song and then greet a few people, or do you want to? Well, you had said you wanted to close with a specific song.
Okay,
or we
let's
take
do a couple of
two more fast questions.
He is confused, and he doesn't have the microphone up to his mouth, so you can't hear him say it, but you can see him say,
and then greet a few people, or do you want to? Well,
He says, what song are you talking about? What song are you talking about? He has no clue what she's saying. And she's speaking to him like I speak to my dog. Listen, she's like, well, you said you wanted to play a song, sir. Just very like soft and...
Well, you had said you wanted to close with a specific song.
Okay, let's do a couple of
two more fast questions.
So Justin,
Or we can take 2 more questions. Then Trump says...
how about a couple of really beauties? And we'll sit down, relax. Let me just give you the bottom line, though.
He then says he's going to take a few more questions. That's what he means when he says a few more really beauties. And the way he's speaking right here feels uniquely disjointed. Now, Donald Trump is always disjointed. I'm not trying to psychoanalyze him, but the way he's acting here feels uniquely disjointed. It reminds me of when my elderly dog is on some sort of medication after a surgery or whatever, and she's standing there kind of out of it, wobbling around, and we're like, all right, girl, let's get you to bed. This is scary. That's what Donald Trump is acting like, wobbling on stage.
With a specific song.
Okay, let's do a couple of
2 more fast questions.
So Justin, how about a couple of really beauties?
A couple of really beauties. By that, he means he wants to take a few more questions. Here's one more clip of Donald Trump in this Oaks, Pennsylvania town hall, standing there while the music plays in the background. I'm going to unmute it for 1 second. Odd vibes, the way he stands there and soaks it in. And Kamala HQ, the rapid response account for the Kamala Harris campaign, sums everything up pretty well. They said, tonight, Donald Trump told his supporters to go out and vote on January 5th. That's the next clip we're going to play. He then rambled about Hannibal Lecter, a cannibal serial killer who is not real. He acted confused when asked if they should end the event and play a walk-off song that he clearly communicated earlier. Then he stood frozen and silent on stage as music played for 30 plus minutes and the crowd poured out of the venue. Watch this clip right here.
It will be, I'll tell you, if everything works out, if everybody gets out and votes on January 5th or before,
Man, the MAGA people listen to everything he says, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do show up to the polls on January 5th and then they cry election fraud and say, but Trump said it was on January 5th. Look at Kristi Noem's reaction. She notices the mistake. You can see over here.
I'll tell you, if everything works out, if everybody gets out and votes on January 5th or before,
her head kind of whips over and Donald Trump thinks he saved it. Now we have this next clip of Donald Trump talking about Hannibal Lecter.
And whenever I go, Hannibal Lecter, you know what I'm talking about. They always go the fake news. That's a lot of fake news back there, too. But they always mention, it's a way of demeaning.
This is insane. This is insane. Do you guys see the people standing up and pointing and then doing thumbs down? They're like zombies. They just follow their leader.
They always mention, it's a way of demeaning. They just say, Hannibal Lecter, why would...
Those people are doing their jobs in the back. They're journalists doing their jobs. They are guardrails to democracy. I go to these rallies as a journalist oftentimes, and I'm just doing my job.
Mention, it's a way of demeaning. They just say, Hannibal Lecter, why would he mention? Well, you know why? Because he was a sick puppy, and we have sick puppies coming into our country.
Donald Trump talking about sick puppies right next to Kristi Noem. Be careful, she's going to put them down. But also, this is another example of Donald Trump's pure gaslighting. He's saying that the media wants to demean Trump and his supporters. He's saying it's a way of demeaning us. And while he's saying that, he's demeaning the media to a point where his supporters are actively booing them. You guys get what I'm saying, right? He just flips everything on its head.
I always mention... it's a way of demeaning. They just say, Hannibal Lecter, why would he mention? Well,
As he's talking about demeaning, they are demeaning the press.
Anyway, go ahead, please.
Yep. Well, sir, do you want to play your song and then greet a few people, or do you want to... Well, you had said you wanted to close with a specific song.
Okay, let's do it.
What moment do you think is the worst so far out of the ones I've played? A, Trump freezing on stage. B, Donald Trump saying, what song was I talking about? What song did I communicate to you earlier? Or C, Donald Trump saying vote on January 5th. Where does he even get that date from? Is he thinking about January 6th that much? And here's Donald Trump again, just kind of standing around. I mean, the person in the back right here looks very creeped out and weirded out. Like, look at her face. She's like, oh, okay, what's going on here? She's visibly cringing, or am I just making things up right here? And there's Donald Trump swaying around like a weirdo. I mean, maybe this worked back in 2016 and people thought this was a unique stage presence, but now it just looks like he's struggling to stand up straight. I want to end this off with a clip of our pro-democracy buddy, Tim Walz, because we are a pro-democracy channel and the onus is on us to promote these candidates.
But here's the thing about this. It would be funny if it wasn't so dangerous. Yesterday, he went on Fox News. That's a safe place for him. He went on there, and he suggested that he is going to send the military against the enemy from within. Now, I want you to think about it. In other words, Americans who don't support him. Just to be clear, if any of your neighbors or friends or anybody thinks about that, you know who he's talking about? He's talking about you. He's talking about you. He's talking about someone who comes to a rally to express their love and their commitment to our democracy. Donald Trump sees that as an enemy, all right? So I have to tell you, as someone who wore this nation's uniform proudly, as someone who now is the commander-in-chief of the Minnesota National Guard, the idea of sending U.S. military personnel against American citizens makes me sick to my stomach. I'll tell you what, we'll let the lawyers decide if what he said was treason, but what I know is it's a call for violence, plain and simple. And it's pretty damn un-American, if you ask me.
Everything Donald Trump does is un-American, and Tim Walz is American to the core. We have a lot more videos coming out today. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure that the notification bell is turned on. Drop some blue hearts. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.